Okay, we're good. What's up, everybody? Drew here, thatanxietyguy.com. Back again with Billy from anxietyunited.com.
Hello again. Hello again.
You looking good today, Bill?
Very bright. The sun is shining.
Very bright. I'm
Finally
in my cave in my office as usual. I gotta get some better lighting, dude.
Oh dear. Well, the lighting won't last here. We've got 1 day of sunshine. That's all we're permitted per year.
That's the law over there, isn't it?
Yeah.
Today, we are done with our Anxiety 101. I don't know what we're going to start calling these. Maybe we'll keep calling it that. I don't know. But
yeah, we are.
We've got through the article that I wrote, and we went through all of the little headings in that, and we've spent 11 or 12 episodes on that. So hopefully you guys will go back and watch some of that stuff. And we're just going to start winging them, I think, going forward. Yes, sort of make it up as we go along.
Yeah, man.
And today we're going to talk about what is sometimes a controversial topic. It has been for me when I talk about it. And that is the idea that a panic attack isn't necessarily a bad thing. And when I say that, most people are like, are you out of your mind? Like, what are you talking about? A panic attack?
You want me to have a panic attack?
Are you crazy, man? What is up with that? You want me to have a panic attack? Do you hate me? And I think the concept that we're talking about here, why a panic attack isn't necessarily a bad thing, is it's all related to the idea of acceptance and exposure, right? And learning how to react or not react. And the general principle, I'll throw it out there and then we can just kind of kick it around, is if you're getting out there and you're working on your stuff, right? So pick anything, going to a restaurant, going to the shopping mall, whatever, is an issue for you. And you're working on that, you're doing your exposure. And you measure the success of that exposure by, by whether or not if success to you is that you didn't have a panic attack, you might be missing the point a little bit. So like having a panic attack while you're doing your exposure work or pushing yourself, pushing your boundaries isn't always a bad thing. So why isn't it a bad thing? Why is it actually a good thing?
Well, I think something that I've always thought of, I don't know where I read it, it might have been like Claire Week stuff, but that was the fact that you should never wait until you feel good to go out and do the stuff.
That's true.
Because you learn more when you struggle. Like when I've gone out and done, like when I did the 31 days of May or whatever it was.
Right.
Going out on the days where I felt okay, it was just nothing. It felt pointless. It didn't really feel like I learned anything. But the days where I felt, I could feel anxiety or I was thinking about sensations, symptoms, those days when I still went out and went for a walk, it was when I came back then that I felt like I'd actually achieved something. So that's when I'm learning the most, that it doesn't matter how I feel. I can go out and do whatever regardless. So right. That for me that's the key. It's like if you go out and you don't experience anything, yes, it's a great thing that you've gone out and you've been able to do it.
Right.
But if you're trying to get over this, then you want to go out and you want to stay out until you feel it, and then you want to stay out past that.
Yes.
And that's when you learn. That's when you learn that that you're in no danger. That's when you learn that it won't be the end of you.
Right. Because the mechanism here is there's two things that happen there. We've talked about this ad nauseum, and we'll continue to talk about it, I think, ad nauseum. The mechanism there is we only learn through experience. This is how the human brain works. It's how we learn best. And you could read about things and watch videos and listen to podcasts like ours. But until you actually do something, you can read about speaking French all you want, but until you practice speaking French, you're not going to learn how to do it. So, and the same thing applies here. So we only learn through experience. So you have to experience the fear and the discomfort and the panic in order to truly learn how to deal with that, how to not react to it. And I think the big mistake that everybody makes, and two things happen. So if you measure success by, I didn't panic, first of all, like you said, you didn't really learn anything that day. And in fact, you may still actually be reinforcing even more that mistaken belief, like I can't panic. Like I can't panic. If I panic, it's the end of the world. And that's not true. That's not true. So it's so counterintuitive. I totally get that. I mean, I'm sure that you've run into people that they just think it's crazy when you say that. Like you almost need that. You almost need that panic attack. You need it.
That's it. Need it. Yeah. They'd rather celebrate the fact that they didn't rather than the fact that they did, but they still managed to do it.
Which is
that's the better
way. That's the success, and that's what will propel you forward. So I will tell you that I think I might have mentioned it in one of the past episodes. It's going back a few weeks now. I had one of the most intense panic episodes that I've had in years. Yeah. Going back a few days, and I was talking to, I was actually talking to the person that I was with at the time, and I said, that was a really great day. That person said, yeah, but you had that massive panic attack. I'm like, yes, I had a horrible panic attack that day. I said, but that was a great day. And they didn't understand why I said that. And really, in the end, it was a great day because that actually made me I feel even more indestructible after that, in a way.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense. Yeah.
You're still standing.
Still standing. And that was as intense as I've felt in a very long time, but that was a good experience to have. So you have to get to the point where you can look back on that and say, it sucked. I wouldn't want to do it again, but if I had to do it again, all right. It makes me feel even more bulletproof than I already did.
And that's experience.
That's experience. And unless you experience the panic and don't hide from it, you're never going to get to that point. You'll always be motivated by trying to avoid it.
And that's it. That's what you've got to really buy into, isn't it? That's the key thing, is because the longer that you put it off, the worse that it gets. The more that you create these catastrophic images in your mind.
Yes.
And I'm a victim of my own freaking downfall, because I do exactly that. And I've said it before, the longer I leave it before I go out the house, so if I spend a few days in, guarantee it will be harder that next time. So it's about, it's like the very first episode we did of this was the persistence, the acceptance, the courage, all that stuff. It's all key.
It is key. Without, unfortunately, the courage, and I did the series I was doing with Holly, we did a whole bunch on courage, and it's the ingredient that is most required, I think, to get into that mindset where you will welcome a panic attack and actually look at it and say, well, it was an opportunity to practice.
Well, we'll jump from that and we'll discuss the fact that it's my wife's birthday today.
Yes.
Although this podcast will be a week later probably, so it was her birthday last week. Yeah. And she wants to go bowling or go out for dinner this evening, which is understandable. It's her birthday. Right. And it's only fair that we do something.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't feel that it's like the courage thing, because I feel courageous enough to attempt to do it.
Yeah.
But there's this thing that's just bubbling away, and I'm fearing the worst. And I went out for breakfast and I got a bit of that on a vlog, and it was very, very similar. It's just like I'm almost constantly thinking about, is it coming? Is it coming? Maybe it's not, but I'm just thinking, is it? When is it?
Right.
And I'm finding that really difficult at the moment to deal with. So it's not a case of I'm feeling courageous enough to go and do it, but I'm still concerned about how I'm going to feel when I'm there. Maybe that's something that you can kick me up the backside on.
Well, we can talk about that. And so here's the way I look at it. This is the framework that I always put it in for myself, and it worked well for me. So if you look behind me, there's a guitar hanging on the wall, right?
I see.
By the way, that's a very cheap guitar. I've had actually people ask, what is that? That's a Squier Strat. It's a cheap Strat. So it's an office guitar. So, but if I grab that guitar off the wall and I start playing it, maybe I'm going to practice something that I'm not really good at doing, sweep picking or something, right? Mm-hmm. So I know that right now I can't do that. I can't sweep pick at all because I've never done it. So if I want to learn how to sweep pick, I have to keep doing it. And every time I take that guitar off the wall and spend 5 minutes sweep picking, I might suck at it. It sounds horrible. I don't want anybody to close my door in the office. I don't want anybody to hear it. It's horrific. It's a terrible, sound. But I know that every time I do that, I get a little better at sweep picking. Mm-hmm. So in my mind, I think, well, you know what? If I do that every day for 5 or 10 minutes a day, in about a month or so, I'll be a lot better at it. And maybe 3 months from now, I will know how to sweep pick. So I'll have mastered that skill. And I used to do the same thing when I was going through what you're going through and doing my exposures. Like, well, today as its own incident might suck because I might be in the car and really freaking out and very uncomfortable. But in 3 months, if I do this every day, I just have to do this practice and it will build on top of each other. Mm-hmm. And if you did it every single day, then you're actually working to a goal. You'll learn how to sweep pick, or you'll learn how to go out to dinner with your wife and not
good at bowling,
and you'll be a better bowler. You'll be really good at bowling, dude. So I don't know if that makes any sense. Look at those exposures as practice. It's just you know what, I'm going to spend, I always use I'm going to pick up my instrument, or I'm going to practice speaking Spanish, or whatever you're trying to learn how to do. Those things aren't unpleasant like our thing is, but try not to judge things. We put so much emphasis on each individual episode, I think, people like us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
so, right. So you're very focused on what's going to happen tonight going out to dinner with your wife or going bowling. but it's just one practice session. It's like 1 5-minute session with my stupid guitar.
That's the way I try and think about it. I try and think like, I know deep down when I sit and really think about it, I know that I'm gonna get through it.
Right.
I know that tomorrow morning I will have done it, and it's not going to have affected me
right
any major way. You know, I'm still going to be me. Maybe I'll feel a little bit more tired, perhaps, if I spend like 2 hours in there tense as a piece of wood.
Yeah.
You know, but maybe it goes okay. But at the end of the day, I will get through it. That's what I try and think. Like, I know that I will, and it's only like 2 hours out of my life. So,
but and if you visualize that as, you know, you're on a road and you're trying to get to the end of that road, maybe you'll be a little more tired for having had the experience, and maybe it went well or maybe it didn't go well, but you've actually taken more steps. You're closer to the end of the road. You know, so instead of judging that experience for what it is, I was anxious, I was worried about it, I was thinking about panic all the time. I didn't enjoy myself. All right, well, that was just one practice session. There's going to be another 100 to get to the end of that road. So when it's over, it's over. Understand that you took a few steps, and then get ready to take the next few steps. And try and always look at the larger picture, where you're headed to, as opposed to what you're doing right now.
Yeah.
You know, and to me, that's always been when people ask me, well, why should I welcome a panic attack? Well, that's why. It's an opportunity to practice. I mean, not welcome a panic attack, but welcome the anxiety. Like, understand that it's going to be there. Don't expect that it won't. Expect that it will, you know. And every time you go through it, you get better at it.
Somebody inboxed me on Twitter the other day and asked that they're struggling with anxiety. What can they do to get rid of the symptoms or something like that?
Right.
And my reply was just stop trying to get rid of the symptoms. That's the way to get rid of the symptoms.
Yes.
Is to just, they're there. That I always refer to what you said, like the symptoms and the sensations are not anxiety. They're not the disorder.
Right.
And that's, you know, the more power that you give them. Because that's what I'm always focused on, and that's what I will be later. I'll be like maybe a bit of dizziness, or because that's the usual thing for me. And somebody commented on the last video asking about dizziness because you've referred to having dizziness, you know, back then. So it's like, how do you? And when we went for breakfast the other day, and I had the dizziness as we were walking towards the actual pub. So I'd got out of the car. It was probably only about 50 feet, and each step that I was taking nearer the place, I could feel myself sort of going. Yeah. But I slowed down, and it's probably the first time that I've done it in a long time anyway. Like, usually I would stop, maybe turn around, go back, but I just kept going at exactly the same pace that I was, you know, I just got out of the car and I could feel it, and it was horrible, but I just kept putting one foot in front of the other. And by the time I actually got in the place, I'd sort of, I don't know, it had stopped. That sensation had passed. And then it was on to the next one. But it was nice to just, like, usually I'd reach a point, I'd take a step, and then I'd stop and I'd think about it. And then I'd probably make a decision to head back to the car, freak out, fall out with the missus, you know, end up going through the drive-through. But no, I just kept putting one foot in front of the other. No change of pace, nothing. Yeah. And that really worked for me. And then I got through the rest of the, you know, I did feel anxious and it was a bit weird, but I still got through it, and I felt bloody good after it.
And maybe that symptom didn't go away. I mean, maybe it did. Theoretically, when you get better at it, so take dizziness, and it's still a symptom for me. Like, if I know when I'm feeling anxious because of that, like, that is an anxiety symptom for me, or that that unsteady feeling. Yeah,
it's weird.
So you just keep putting one foot in front of the other, no faster, no slower. You're methodically, like, focused in the moment. I'm just going to keep doing this exactly the way I was just doing it. And I'm going to just let that dizziness be there. And maybe the symptom goes away and maybe it doesn't. But, you know, in the end, what you just did there, that was practice. Like, you got better at dealing with your dizziness. And if you keep doing that again and again and again, but you can only do it when you feel dizzy. You can't practice that when you're not dizzy. That's
the point. And I think, like, because I experienced that then, like, this is probably the crucial stage that I'm at now. Right. Because I did it the other day and I felt that dizziness and I didn't like it and I don't want to feel it again. So tonight, to go bowling, I know pretty much 99% sure that I'm going to get out of the car and I'm going to have to do it again. Yeah. And I think that's the crucial part. It's like knowing but doing it anyway. Yeah. That's the point, isn't it?
Yes, knowing that it's coming and doing it anyway. And that's where the courage comes in. And I think, and also the patience, understanding that I think also a lot of people wind up in that situation where when they're still focused on trying to avoid it, I don't want the symptoms. I don't want the panic. Success is not feeling that way. It's the wrong goal. I always say all the time, that's the wrong goal. The goal is to like be able to panic or be dizzy or unsteady or whatever your symptom is and not care.
And
That's the goal, right?
Mm.
And when you get there, then suddenly that will go away. Trust me, that's the way it works. Like when you don't care if you're dizzy or not anymore, you'll stop being dizzy. It just is. So the wrong goal. But I think the point is you got better at it, a little bit better in that time than you were before. And now you'll get a little bit better at it again. And what I always try and tell people is that's great. You just can't wait a week or two between, you get like go and do something tomorrow that makes you dizzy again. And when you do that, you'd be surprised at how fast you get good at it. Much faster than you think. And you're right. It's probably a key spot for you right now. Like
I feel that it's crucial. Yeah,
you did it, and now you got to do it again. That's always the that's always the thing, because patience. We talked about patience. Courage, persistence, patience. It doesn't. Unfortunately, we don't fix stuff in one day. Sadly.
Well, that's it. Because I mean, like I'm fine with at the moment. I mean, going back 6 months, I was losing the plot when I was just driving my daughter to school or anything like that. But now I'm comfortable with that. So I'm in that comfortable zone. I can drive to my dad's. I can go to my dad's, have a cup of tea there, take him shopping, sit in the car while he's in there. So I'm still not going into shops and stuff like that. But so like going out for breakfast was a pretty big thing.
Yep.
Because like even the drive-through, even sitting in the queue at the drive-through is enough sometimes to tip me over the edge, which is really weird because I could drive to the drive-through for like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
But it's sitting in the car for 5 minutes in a little bit that you can't get out of.
Well, because you can't get out.
Yeah, so it's that escape thing.
Sure.
But it's so strange. So strange.
But the more you do it, and I think let's try and turn this into a positive. So we started by saying...
Yeah, sorry.
That's all right. No. And it's okay. These are good conversations to have. I think we started by saying that, our concept here is that a panic attack is not always a bad thing. And you could almost, if you're listening right now and you're in a situation where you've pretty much stopped everything, you're not working, you're not going to school, whatever, and you're homebound, possibly a little agoraphobic, this could be your full-time job. Like you could actually do this stuff full-time. And I think you know this. And when we first met, we were both almost in that kind of same situation where it became, for me, it almost became even though I was still running a business at the time, almost my full-time job. And when you dedicate your time and your resources to it, you will be surprised. The more practice, like any other skill, the more practice you do, the better you get at it. Just unfortunately, this is something we have to practice that's very unpleasant. That's the only difference. There's no difference. So like anything else, the more you do it, the better you get at it. Nobody wants to do it because it's not fun. I'm not practicing fun things.
The disheartening thing for me was that I sort of went on a real nice trajectory and I was going out for dinner and going shopping like 2-3 years ago.
Yep.
I didn't think about any of this.
Yeah.
But then something happened and I don't really know what it was. But I just started going downhill. Yeah. And I think the thing for maybe we're just predisposed to, if we don't manage it or if we don't stay on top of it, there's always that chance that we can go back down there. And I feel that it's harder this time to try and, I don't know what it is, whether it's not really a courage thing, I guess confidence.
Yeah. Because
I feel like I got there once and I got back down there so easily. Like I'm definitely on the way back up now.
Yeah.
But it's felt harder this time.
I think sometimes it's because of the confidence thing might be one thing. Your confidence takes a hit for sure. When that happens. I think that's a real thing for almost all, for me too. If I'm not careful, I could slip back into some bad habits for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. I mean, even to the point where I think we mentioned this in one of our episodes. Like even if I have, like the winter is coming now, or the fall is coming anyway, the seasons are changing. So in the winter, when it's cold and nasty and snowy around here, like you can easily go a weekend and not leave the house just because nobody wants to go out. It's crappy weather and everything. Yeah. So you have a weekend where you're just inside. Even to this day, Monday will be just a little tougher for me because, I was just like in my cocoon all weekend, watching football or American football, or whatever, and Monday morning could be just a little harder.
Yeah.
Even now, all these years later. So I think it's something we have to be vigilant about. But the key is like stop judging by success by the lack of symptoms or the lack of anxiety. That's not success initially. That's the ultimate. That's how you know you won the war. But each battle is not. That's not how you win each battle.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, you win the battle by experiencing and getting through it anyway. So
that's it. That was the that was the point we were trying to make.
It is. So this is why a panic attack. This will be a clickbait title. A panic attack is not a bad thing.
Yes.
Giving away our secrets, dude. Our YouTube marketing secrets, our extensive secrets.
Yeah.
So, you know, I don't know. Do we want to add anything to that? Do we have anything else we want to throw? I mean, we could just keep rambling and just going from topic to topic here. We'll just be like a 3-week
Just
episode.
trying to think. I just know that in experience, I felt that I've learnt way more. I've caught panic attacks on film, like doing one when I was out shopping, and we've spoke about the feeling that you experience after you've gone through it.
Oh.
So, like, it's just, I don't know. You can't explain it because it feels unnatural to actually go through a panic attack.
Yeah.
And the calm after the storm. So that's why it's worth going through it, just to experience what that feels like. If anything else, it's magic.
It is magic. And you know what's so funny? When you say the calm after the storm, I think it's worth noting that. So you welcome the panic. We know it's a good thing because it's an opportunity to practice. Like, this is good. I practiced this. I got through it. Sometimes even the calm afterwards is slightly anxiety producing. It was for me. That change in state from being like way up here to being down here because you're exhausted and, you know, you're just feeling kind of wrung out and drained, and that can be tough. And I know that sometimes that feels a cycle too, but that just a quick mention of that's part of it. Like, when it's over and you have rode that wave and you're through, you're going to crash, you know? So that calm is almost an extreme level of calm because you just, you're out of adrenaline for a little while till your body can soup up again. That used to freak me out a little bit, but
in theory, if we break this all down, you can't fail. The only way that you can fail is if you bail, I guess.
Yes.
You know, there's a slogan for you.
There's a bumper sticker. Let me get that into production right now.
Yeah. If you stick with it and you ride it out, then that's brilliant. Yep. Or if you say bring it on and it doesn't come on, then that's brilliant.
Yes.
Because you're not trying to hide from it.
Yeah, you're willing to take it.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
That's true. That is really, really solid right there. You cannot. Well, if you go out and do the work, you cannot fail. The only time that you fail is if you run from it.
Yep.
Either stop, go back home, don't go out to begin with, or start doing everything you can to keep it from happening. But even then, now, you know what? I'm going to say I'll be controversial and say that's probably a fail. If you are out there and you're using your mints and the bottle of wine,
I would say so.
All the funny things that you threw out in your last video. Which, by the way, if you guys have not subscribed to Billy, you got
60 seconds.
You have to subscribe because it's very good stuff, and he's also pretty funny sometimes with that stuff. So, if you're resorting to your safety behaviors and you're dancing around the panic and trying to make it not happen and trying all your tricks and calling your mom and all the stuff you do. Well, that might not be the best exposure to do or the best forward progress, but otherwise there's almost no way to fail. So that's really good. It's every time you go out, it's a bonus. You've
got to go into it willing to face everything, or willing to just experience everything, can you? That's the So me going bowling tonight, I just need to go and just be prepared to either come out on foot cheering because I won, or in a freaking ambulance. That's
but
you know,
even if you go out in an ambulance, you will end the night back home anyway, right? They're going to send you home. Nothing is wrong. Go home, young man.
But if I'm in an ambulance, it won't be because of panic. It'll be because I've dropped a bowling ball on my foot, maybe.
Most likely, or someone else's foot, and they didn't like that.
So
I get that, but and to get past it and just to experience, and I think there's something somewhat addictive, and this is I find, and we're going to keep going here. We never know how to stop, but I always find this fascinating. What makes it, for me, I can only relate my own personal experience, that feeling when you get through it and you have faced it, and I didn't snap a rubber band, didn't pop any mints, didn't take a pill, didn't do any of that stuff, and it was over in 10 minutes or 12 minutes. You know, that feeling like, it's just, like world beating, like bring it, man. You could do anything. It's almost addictive. For me, it is. But I think it's also the same reason why some people love to go to amusement parks and ride roller coasters and jump off.
Adrenaline junkie.
Yes. Like there are some people are I'm not that guy. I don't need to jump off a cliff, but, some people are wired for that thrill, or people that love speed or whatever. For me, I was very motivated by the challenge. Once I did it a few times, like, I want to do it again. I want to do it again. You know, like, so
Yeah.
maybe if you're listening, maybe you're that and you don't even know it yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you just let yourself get to that point where you just feel like freaking armor plated and invincible, you'll want to feel that way again. So, yeah. And I'll tell you the other reason why panic attacks are not a bad thing. They will teach you shit.
This is it.
They will teach you shit. I am a far more effective business owner, leader, dad, like, than I was before, because it taught me shit and I was willing to learn it. So that's another reason why this is not always a bad thing. You will grow and you will be a little taller and a little stronger and a little smarter and more patient. And there's just so many lessons to be learned in this. So let's embrace them.
Got to get out there.
Yeah, get out there. So, all right. I think we did okay. We're 25 minutes into it.
I think
we don't.
Yeah, I like these podcasts.
Yeah.
There is no topic. I had a couple of comments. One was mentioning the out of body experience, but again, we're going back to a symptom. But somebody was saying that they were lucky enough that they could remove themselves from the store because they used to work in a cosmetic store and take a break. But what if this was in a meeting or an interview? I guess the answer is that you weren't lucky that you were in a store and you could take a break because you didn't really learn that it weren't going to harm you.
Right.
That's the point, isn't it?
Right. You weren't lucky. You should, Yeah. It doesn't matter whether that person was in the store, in a meeting, performing surgery, playing in concert with Pink Floyd. It doesn't matter what they were doing. It still would have passed. You just let it go.
That's it.
Yeah. That's a good point. That's a really good point. It's what do I do if? What do I do if? And we hear that question all the time. What do I do if this happens? Nothing. What do I do if it happens there? Nothing. The answer is always nothing. Let it happen.
That is the simple answer, isn't it? You should just carry on.
It is a simple answer.
Regardless. Yeah.
Just keep going. Just keep doing what you're doing. So exactly, you know what? If you're listening right now, just listen to what Billy said not too long ago. When you got dizzy and you just kept putting one foot in front of the other. Figuratively speaking, that's what you do. Like, I'm driving, I'm just going to keep driving. I'm talking to this person that works with me. I'm going to keep talking to this person that works with me. I'm just not going to stop. So that's that. So who knows what we're going to talk about next week? No idea.
How long have we gone for?
27 minutes.
It's a short one.
That's a short one. I got to upload 2 of them now. I'm behind.
We're gonna definitely discuss social media and the internet.
Yes.
And the effects that can have on anxiety. So we'll save that for a feature length.
Feature like that could be a multiple parter, There's the good and the bad, and we can talk about both of those things.
Yeah.
I like the idea, we're figuring this out on the air. This is good. But if anybody's any suggestions on what you want us to talk about or how to talk about it. Because I kind of like we'll pick a topic, we'll chat about it for a while, maybe we'll take some comments and stuff at the end like we just did. That's a good format. It's reasonable.
We got to do the medication as well. We got to.
Yeah, we're gonna do one of meds
at some point.
If you've made it 28 minutes into this and you're still listening and you have an opinion, you want to hear about meds or not meds or specific meds, I guess chime in, comment.
Yeah.
I'm curious. It's the thing I get asked about more than any other thing. By far.
It's got to be it's worth a discussion.
Yeah, so we'll do that.
Especially with your experience as well.
I had a different experience. I won't start getting into it now because I could talk about that for hours on end. But yes, my experience was what shaped my opinion. So I'll talk about that one day. I guess that's it. Yeah. So that's the deal.
Let us know what you were. Do you want us to just ramble for 40 minutes, or do you want us to stay on topic?
You know what?
That's the point.
One day we'll even arrange. Maybe we'll do a live one day too. We could have people.
We did discuss this, didn't we?
Comment or even call. We could set up a Google number or something like that. 2 numbers, one for you, one for me in the UK.
I'd be happy with that.
It would be fun.
I'm up for that. Let us know if you're interested in watching a live episode.
Do it live. Yeah, where you can actually interact, call in, comment as we go.
Yeah.
It'd be fun. The other thing that would address, and we really got to wrap it up. We should keep these at 30 minutes if we can. But
yeah. One
thing that I have noticed too is I think even this podcast can become a safety behavior. We'll talk about that one day. Not for us so much, but for people that are listening. Like it's great that they're listening, and it's always awesome to get comments from people that feel like we're helping.
Yeah.
But I actually know of one friend personally whom I love to death. She's a dear. And like when she has to go out and do her exposure, she will put her headphones on and listen to my audio.
Right.
So
right.
I've become a bit of a crutch. We should talk about that too sometimes. So
Yeah.
Anyway, all right. So let's wrap it up for now. As usual,
Yes.
anxietyunited.com.
Anxiety United.
Right?
That's the one.
Yep. Or on Twitter, Anxiety United. For me, thatanxietyguy.com or that anxiety guy on all social media. Bring it, whatever you got. And I guess we'll see you guys next time. Thanks for tuning in.
We will. Thank you.
What are you supposed to do? You're supposed to like and subscribe, right? Hit that thumbs up.
Smash the like button, innit?
Smash the like button. And what is it? The
subscribe
bell?
With notifications on.
Right. The bell icon on YouTube.
I'm getting good at this YouTube.
You are getting good. I'm
putting a bit of time in.
I'm gonna hire you. I need YouTube lessons.
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
Let's do this.
All right, man. Catch you later on. Thanks, everybody.
Ta-ra.